Backlash is one of those PLEs that just kind of gets buried right after WrestleMania. I should say Backlash is after WrestleMania, but I don't see many people put stock into Backlash. It's just kind of like, well, it's WrestleMania. What's the next PLE? Nobody cares about it. We need to move forward from that. People start talking about, people start talking about SummerSlam, maybe a couple of PLEs here and there, but like the PLE right after WrestleMania, which is Backlash, I don't see anybody even really care about it much. So we had Backlash over the weekend, and I'm gonna tell you guys this. I thought it was actually better than WrestleMania. Definitely better than WrestleMania Night 1. For sure, it was better than WrestleMania Night 1. For sure. WrestleMania Night 2, I mean, that main event between Roman and CM Punk was something else. But this year's Backlash was pretty damn entertaining. It really, truly was. And in no particular order, I'm just going to go ahead and comb through it a little bit. I don't have too much time. I got to get back on the road here in a few minutes. So, excuse me, but I'm just going to kind of power through it. I want to start with the whole Danhausen with his, mini Danhausen and versus Miz and that other guy that I don't really care for. Look, people were speculating on who is going to be Danhausen's secret partner, right? And when he revealed who it was, that it was, basically a mini Danhausen, just like everybody else, I was like, this is stupid. This is dumb. This is ridiculous. And to be honest, I'm not even really buying Danhausen too much. In all reality, I was completely let down when they first brought in Danhausen. I have never been into the whole Danhausen character. Nothing, right? So the big reveal was a miniature Danhausen, who was the same miniature Sin Cara and that guy, right? And like I said, like everybody else, I was very disappointed. I was like, this sucks, this is horrible. But guess what? As the match went on, I was actually pretty darn entertained. I really, truly was. The match actually grew on me. When they brought in the mini Danhausen, the little Danhausen, I was like, pfft. I didn't even want to watch. But because the rest of the card leading up to that point was really good, I was like, well, alright, let me just go ahead and check it out. Hopefully it doesn't last long. But guess what? I was actually pretty damn entertained. I actually liked that tag team match. Now, when it comes to Danhausen, am I really sold on Danhausen? Not really. His character to me is kind of whatever. But nonetheless, the match was actually pretty good. With the exception of the Miz botching, which I don't like to come down on the Miz too much, man, because the guy's a veteran. He kind of botched the fire extinguisher spot, right? Like he shoots the fire extinguisher and then he aims it to his face. Like I was like, come on, Miz. Come on. But nonetheless, I was entertained by that match. Danhausen, of course, with the mini-me and then the clones that came out. I was entertained. I really was. At first, I was highly, highly disappointed. But the match was good. I was entertained. Which takes me to Sami Zayn losing to Trick Williams. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that Trick Williams was going to win this match. whoop that trick. And in my opinion, I think they need to bring back Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes can be a top star. He can be. I think it's time for Sami Zayn to kind of step away and try to go back to, I don't want to throw Cody Rhodes in here, but finish the story and becoming main champion. Hi, hello, what's going on? Oh, just here, trucking it up here in Nevada at State Line Prim, where they're about to shut it all down here in the next month or two. Just talking about BackLash and how BackLash, I thought, in my opinion, was better than WrestleMania Night 1. So, Sami Zayn, Trick Williams put on a pretty damn good match. And Trick Williams comes out with the victory. And I'm hoping they bring back Carmelo Hayes and get him in the ring against Trick Williams. Where does Sami Zayn go from here? Just rebuild, man, and go back to chasing one of the major titles. And hopefully he does get it. I do believe Sami Zayn will be, I don't know what's the main title he'll get, but I do believe he'll become main champion at some point. And that's going to be towards the end of his career. Now, moving on, because like I said, I don't have too much time. I got to get back on the road. I am a trucker. I am a real truck driver. All right, moving on. I've said it before. I have said it before. I will say it again. Braun Breaker is the future, baby. Braun Breaker is the future. Ever since I saw him on NXT, I said, this guy has got it. He has got it. Capital I-T. In bold letters. He has got it. Now, I hope he is not bitten by the injury bug. He's already been sidelined for an injury. Hopefully injuries do not stifle his career. Because Braun Breaker is badass, man, and he is the future. Him and Seth freaking Rollins have a damn good match. Great match. Braun Breaker could go with the best of them. I'm a huge fan of Braun Breaker. And at some point, he needs to get away from the Vision. At some point, he needs to get away. Now, I mean, you got Paul Heyman all up in there, but at some point, he needs to get away from Logan Paul. He needs to get away from Austin Theory. He needs to just be Braun Breaker. Now, right now, Bronson Reed, he's sidelined again for being injured. Again. Now's the time for something to happen for Braun Breaker to kind of cut loose and go on his own. Although I do believe maybe having Paul Heyman by his side for a little bit longer, not much longer, but for a little bit longer will do him good. I'm thinking, now I don't know how long Bronson Reed is going to be sidelined, but I'm thinking maybe when Bronson Reed comes back, he turns on Braun Breaker. The whole Vision turns on Braun Breaker the way they turned on Seth Rollins. And maybe Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed can start some sort of rivalry there. But what a great match. What a great match between Braun Breaker and Seth freaking Rollins. Which now I'm going to go to the whole Asuka, Io Sky thing. Yes, we know Kairi Sane is gone. That kind of threw a little bit of cold water onto the fire on this storyline, because there was a nice little storyline there where Kairi was playing second fiddle to Asuka, who wasn't really her friend, she was her bully. and Kyrie's gone, which, you know, the storyline takes a little bit of a hit. Nonetheless, it was a good match. It was a match that people were waiting to see. The storyline wasn't really there anymore. But what happened there at the end? Io Sky comes out with the victory. And then we get this whole Asuka and Io Sky Kodak moment. That's right, I'm bringing it back. Kodak moment. That's what you used to say when it was like a nice, good, heart-feel moment. You know, Kodak, the old camera. But they had this Kodak moment where, you know, they're hugging and almost, and I kind of got the feeling myself. I was like, oh, wow, so is this Asuka saying goodbye? Look, Asuka is not a young lady. Much respects to her, but she's not a young lady. She's up there in age. I don't know how old she is, honestly. I think she's maybe about 40, 41. I'm not even really sure. She's got to be in her very late 30s or early 40s. But I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, oh, this looks like Asuka saying goodbye. Now, everything that I've seen up until now, there's nothing that confirms her leaving quite yet. The closest I've seen is, oh, she's semi-retired. And that's just a rumor, which I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Does that mean she's only going to be at the major PLEs? Say WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series? Maybe a crown jewel, because Saudi Arabia does it big? That could be it. There's rumors that she's going back to Japan. There's rumors that she's not retiring from wrestling, but she's retiring from the WWE and is going to go wrestle in Japan. But then again, apparently she signed a long-term contract. I believe it was back in 2024 with the WWE. So I'm not really sure what all that was really about. And there's stories out there talking about that, hey, even people in the back were kind of like wishing her good luck and saying, you know, goodbye. And it's like, okay, well, what's going on? There's like no official word on what's the deal. Either way, I mean, what a career she's had. I think the days of Asuka, you know, holding the title, I think those days are gone. She's up there in age. She can still wrestle. She can still go. She can still throw down, especially for a woman her age. She can still throw down and put on a good match. And to be honest, that's kind of when I see, that's when I want to see wrestlers call it a career. Someone like AJ Styles, who can still throw down in the ring, but says, you know what? I'm good. I don't want to see wrestlers become a shell of themselves. I don't want to mention any names, John Cena. I don't want to mention any names, John Cena. But when you can still throw down and you say, you know what? I'm going to walk away. Yes, I could probably still put on a really good match, but I've had my run. So Io Sky wins, and Io Sky is one of the greatest women's wrestlers today. And she's young, and man, goodness, man, she is one of my favorites. Moving right along to the main event. Wow, what a main event. Fatu, Jacob Fatu against the OTC, Roman Reigns. Fatu does not acknowledge the tribal chief, so he had to go in there and teach him a lesson. And look, what a match it was. Good match. Enjoyed the match. A lot of close pinfalls. A lot of close pinfalls between Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. And it made for a really good match. Like I'm saying, BackLash, to me, was better than WrestleMania Night 1. It really was. The whole card. To me, BackLash was better than WrestleMania Night 1. And shout outs to Tampa, because that crowd was into it. Roman Reigns comes out with the victory after so many close pinfalls, right? By both. OTC comes out with the victory, and Roman Reigns, while he delivers a spear, I don't know how many spears he landed on Fatu, right? And he pins Fatu for the 1-2-3. Fatu, at the end of the match, makes his way up to his feet a heck of a lot quicker than Roman Reigns does. Even though he was just down for the 1-2-3 pinfall. Even though he just lost, he makes it up to his feet. Like I said, a heck of a lot faster than Roman Reigns. And then he does what every heel, well, I shouldn't say every heel, but what most superstars do when they turn heel, they attack the opponent after the match is over. And that's what Fatu did. He started attacking your tribal chief. Now, Roman Reigns, I'm not so sure. Look, Roman Reigns is one of those guys where he's not a face and he's not a heel, right? It's kind of like Randy Orton. They just are. Now, a lot of people cheer for Roman Reigns. Does it really make him a babyface? I mean, he never really had like a babyface moment. He was just the guy. As a matter of fact, the times when they were trying to turn Roman Reigns into a major babyface, that's when everybody hated him. Oh, you guys remember that? That's when everyone hated Roman Reigns. When they were trying to push him to be a babyface. When they were trying to push him to be the guy. That's when everybody hated him. But just when he just grew organically and he was a heel, that's when people started investing in him. And he was like half heel, half babyface. Nobody even really knew. And now I guess he's more babyface than he is heel, but he's still not like a certified babyface. He just is. He's just Roman Reigns. He's just your tribal chief. So Jacob Fatu beats the dog doo-doos out of Roman Reigns after the match, showing that Fatu is not done with Roman Reigns. As a matter of fact, they're both scheduled to be on Monday Night Raw tonight. Which reminds me, I got to get back on the road because I want to go ahead and be off in time to watch Monday Night Raw. So, look, overall, BackLash, it was under 3 hours. I understand, that they apparently they wanted to get over with before UFC started. Look, in my opinion, for a PLE that nobody really cares about, I've never heard anybody care about BackLash. I've never, ever, ever heard anybody give a rat's ass about BackLash. But this year, BackLash was better than WrestleMania Night 1. WrestleMania Night 2? Maybe not. But it was definitely better than WrestleMania Night 1. Even that stupid tag team Danhausen, mini Danhausen match against The Miz and all that, even that was entertaining. Even that, for a match that I thought was dumb, for a match that I thought was completely stupid, for a match when they revealed Danhausen's partner, I was like, good gosh, this is as stupid as it gets. But as the match went on, I was entertained. And once the match was over, I was like, wow, that was better than I thought. So with that, nah, I don't do Apple cards. All right. Hey, with that, I'm going to go and tap up out of here. You guys enjoy Monday Night Raw. I will be watching Monday Night Raw, which is why I got to tap out. I got to get back on the road. And I'm going to check out Monday Night Raw tonight and see what's up. But look, Backlash, in my opinion, hey, for a PLE that nobody cares about, for a PLE that has low expectations, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. And what WWE really needs to do, and they need to do it pretty damn fast. I don't know if anybody knows this because they have not been advertising this at all. We got Saturday night's main event coming up in less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks. With another PLE the following weekend. Good gosh, they really need to get on top of this. All right, I got to get out of here. You guys be good. I'll catch you guys on next one.